Let me ask you, let me just start off a conversation here. One of the things I noticed, you have some real awesome, great stories and imagery in your songs. It's like a ongoing kind of comedy, funny, fun to watch videos. Was that like planned out, or how'd that come about? You just...
Well, man, I just write songs that, about like my family and my friends and things I like, things I don't like. All the songs I write are really personal. And, our music videos, we ended up being really good at making them,
Yeah.
And, it wasn't something that we ever thought that, oh, well, I can't wait to make music videos, or this is going to be cool. It's just we made one for real, and we were like, man, this is cool. And it's just like, I had these ideas for these songs, and for music, for videos for these songs, and we ended up just, going for it in that way. And I'll tell you, I really enjoy making the videos. It's kind of fun to put visuals with a song in a way, and then it kind of can help convey the sort of the message that you're trying to convey.
It seems like a fun message.
Well, our newest videos, Raise a Little Hell and Hot Roast and Kisses.
Yeah.
There's, I wanted to, with the Hot Roast and Kisses, I wanted it to be, just sort of fun and, people dancing. I wanted to sort of be, kind of romantic. So there's all these people in the kitchen that are having, sort of like dancing around the kitchen doing their stuff.
Yeah.
And flirting with each other and whatnot. And then, like with Raise a Little Hell, that song was kind of it's almost like someone one time said that we raised hell. And when we played, and I said, no, I said, G.G. Allen raises hell. I said, well, maybe we raise a little hell. And so it's kind of like, I'm not sure if you can raise a little hell. I think you can raise hell or you don't. But that song, I was like, I just wanted it to be a gathering of people behind that little boy playing the drum. And, sort of like he's, this sort of nerdy, little marching band kid that maybe he got kicked out of the marching band or something, and then he started playing, and then all these people start following,
So is that like...
I'm not just kind of having... What's that?
I'd say, is that part of the songwriting process? Like you just kind of get an idea and then everything kind of comes together afterwards? Or what is the songwriting process?
Man, the songwriting process for me is I start with just simply a melody and an idea. And then it becomes a song. And then we go in the woodshed and we work it and we fine tune it so it's ready to go. And then, the music video stuff or any of that kind of stuff, that comes way after. That comes after the records are made. And, like the songs that were, the music video songs, like those were ones that were, everybody on our team, from record label to management to everybody, had sort of like we talked about it, like what songs should be the music video songs, It's like, okay, well, I think it should be this one and this one. So it's like, okay, well, let's do that. And then I worked on the ideas behind it. And then we had, between the band and a lot of volunteers helping us put it together, we worked on trying to come up with videos that sort of kind of conveyed the message that we wanted to make. And our last record, we had this video for a song called Devils Look Like Angels.
Right.
And it's very dark, creepy, and we got a lot of almost angry mail from people's grandmas because of this video. I guess we're good at making people feel something,
Yeah.
Be happy or what. And I think that's what music's supposed to be. So.
Well, I noticed some of your influence. You talk a lot about Charlie Patton. And
Yeah, Charlie Patton.
yeah, and I looked him up and I read a little bit about him, and I was real surprised. I'd never heard of him, but I did hear a whole lot about Robert Johnson, who was influenced also by Charlie Patton, and that so I see Charlie Patton is known as the father of Delta music. How did you get so intrigued and learn about him? And he definitely seemed to have a big aspect of influence on you.
Yeah, he's huge, man. I just think he's a giant. Musically, when I first heard his music, I was about 12 years old, and just, man, it just blew my mind. Just blew my mind. And then you start studying. I got real into the history of American music when I was younger, man, and I just studied it like an insane person. And when you get back in there, and you're like, oh man, Charlie Patton is it. He's like the root of really American music as we know it.
Right. Yeah.
Grew up with that, other influences and whatnot, but I mean, it goes back to him. It's pretty amazing. And I just remain just such a fan of his, man. A fan and a student.
Yeah, I was playing it for some people, and their response initially was that it's hard to understand it because it's so old and the recordings are so weak.
Yeah.
That but you put out an album all about him, like what was that about? Like, how'd that come into play?
I wanted to take some of those songs. I really kept real true to his arrangements. I could have, put a little bit more of myself in, but I decided not to. What I wanted to do was, I wanted to play them like Charlie did, and but essentially make them, with, do it to tape and everything, but very organic. But I wanted to keep it more like okay, this is how he did it, and this is how it's supposed to sound. If he had recording gear that was, just a little bit more modern, so that people could really hear what he was doing. I wanted people to hear how he played those songs, and I felt like, I just wanted to stay true to him.
Did you get to did you learn about his past as well, like the way? More than just his music? Like, was he one of those guys, I assume, that was just growing up pretty poor?
I've studied his whole life, everything there is to read about him. I've talked to people that were, distant relatives of him. I've, been to where he was born. I've been to where he died.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. Well, let me ask you, back to you. I read you're from Indiana. Indiana. Is that where you were born, or were raised?
Indiana, born and raised in Indiana. We're from southern Indiana, Brown County, Indiana.
Is that near a city, or is it near a city, or is it like very rural?
Very rural. Brown County is the most rural county in Indiana.
Wow.
And it's in the hills. A lot of people don't know just how hilly Indiana is in the southern part of the state. And it's really Appalachian foothills.
Oh, wow. Now, did you play in local bands growing up?
Yeah, I played in bands, and I even gave guitar lessons starting from when I was about 13.
Wow. Your music seems very like it's got a lot to it. It's got like the roots. It's got blues. It's got like even some jazziness to it. Is that the kind of music you always played, or were you involved in other types of music also?
Well, I was always into this. I've been working on it, honing it down, since I was literally 12 years old. But so it has transformed over the years into, to be better, more focused, more right with what we're all about. I've always sort of, been on this path. But, when I wasn't as good.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I'm curious. Your guitar playing, being like that, the big damn band is, the three of you, but you're the only melodic instrument in it, and there's no bass, and it just seems like when you're playing that it's not as complicated as I know it's got to be, because to pull that off is not easy. And yet at the same time, on some of your songs, I hear you're doing a lead also, like, so you're playing the bass and a lead, and you're the only instrument with melody. Like, that must have been a talent that took a while to put together.
Yeah, that's that old finger style, man. The old finger style country blues style, where you literally play the bass and the lead melody part with your fingers at the same time. We do it for real. There's no loop pedals, no computer. It's done with my hands. And I had a guy at the show last night. He saw me do it. I explained to him how I did it, and he didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, man,
Well,
there's no tricks. I'm telling you, it's in my hand.
yeah, it's amazing. Now you guys have played in a lot of other countries also, which is amazing. And I heard on one of your interviews you said a lot of the people, they don't even understand English, but I found it real interesting. You said they sing along with the guitar part.
Yeah. So we go play in some countries where they literally like sing along with the guitar melodies, those, and it's wild, it's just amazing how people can find something in music to hang their hat on, and it's also amazing too how universal music is, and how you go someplace and you can play a song, and people can just really, I think they gravitate toward music that is real and played by people that love it. It's really neat to see.
Yeah, tremendously unique as well, I would say, what you're playing. And I see Breezy has really mastered the washboard. Has she played that before she was with you guys? Before you guys met?
No, she was a percussionist, but she didn't come to the washboard until she and I got together.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because it's pretty interesting the way she plays that. I think that it's pretty awesome. Now, when you put the band together, this isn't the original band. You had some other members I saw, like your brother, I think, was one of them, and
yeah. We've had different drummers over the years, but Breezy and I have always been the same. My brother was our first drummer.
Yeah.
He just retired, bro. He just didn't want to do it anymore. And I work hard, man. I'm always touring. I'm always moving. I just love it so much that I don't sit still.
Right.
And it's a hard life, Being out here on the road's a hard life. Like, a lot of people don't realize. They come out with us sometimes, like, black young people come out and screw with us. They'll be like, God, this isn't what I thought it was. I'm like, well, it's that's why there's all those songs about how hard the road is.
Yeah. Well, speaking about other people, when you're at a show like a festival or something, and there's always other bands playing, and quite often, at the end of for an encore or somewhere along the way, bands will intermingle and play with one another, and your bluesiness sounds like it would be easy for someone to join in, but is it easy for someone who's never played with you to join in and play? Because it doesn't seem like just, I don't know, is it a standard?
It depends, it depends. A lot of times we'll have people play with us, our friends on the road, or people that we meet who are really awesome, and it depends on their level of proficiency, and when we play with other people too, we we make sure to leave holes for them to do their thing, you know.
Right.
When it's just the three of us, you know, we don't have to leave it to be holes for other people to come in. So a lot of the songs are composed that way. So if we play with other people, you know, we have to make sure we're leaving room for them to do their dance and to work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's an art in and of itself, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I also interesting in high school you were playing and you had a pretty bad hand injury, and tell me about that.
Man, it was something that just sort of happened. It was basically like a strange group of cysts grew all over my tendons and restricted the movement of my hands. And I couldn't play for almost 2 years, 18 and 19.
But it didn't take you out of the game, because what I read is you didn't play, but in your mind you were there the whole time. You were playing in your mind constantly.
That's right, absolutely. It sure was. I was playing in my head, and it sounds crazy, but it's true, and it actually is making me a better player.
Yeah, I don't think it sounds crazy. I think if anything, it helps to give you the push that's needed on the difficulty that is the road that you were just speaking about.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it kind of like pushes you mentally, like you're where you want to be. Another question is, explain, you got some amazing advice from a nice little couple, Derek Trucks and Susan Tedeschi. Tell me about that.
Oh man, you know, Derek and Susan back in the day they were just really inspiring to us, and very encouraging, and you know, they're fantastic people, man. They really are, and they're huge talents. It's just when that lines up, man, when talent, you know, lines up with that kind of kindness and charisma, it's really it's unstoppable.
Yeah, that's amazing. So they encourage you to just put the pedal to the metal, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's great. And here's a little question off topic a little bit. Do you still have the stuffed animal, the big damn bear? That I read, the big damn bear from the Indiana State Fair that helped make your name.
Oh, the bear. No, we don't have that.
Oh, okay.
You know, some little kids got that somewhere. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. That's the obscure one. I wonder where you read that at.
Yeah, I did my homework, man.
I guess so. That's cool.
Yeah. What is? It said also you're a Kentucky colonel. What is it like? What does that mean?
A Kentucky colonel is like being knighted in Kentucky. It's the highest honor the governor of Kentucky can bestow upon a civilian.
Wow. Oh, so how'd that come about?
Well, it's kind of like a service award, and it sort of happened really through a handful of things, including my buddy J.D. Wilkes of the legendary Shack Shakers. You know, he was really the guy that sort of pushed them to make that happen, and it's one honor, you know.
Wow, that's pretty honorable thing. All right, let me also ask you. I read you're with you were with some different labels, and you were saying how great this label is that you're with now. And just like for the novice, what is it exactly that makes one label different from another?
Well, you know, we were on Silent Dummy, now we're on Yazoo. And both those labels are great. We've actually been really lucky to work with really great people. And, you know, the beauty of being on Yazoo is, with this record here, it's just that, you know, they have a great perspective in the roots music world, and just they really understand what we're all about, and it's they've been very supportive. You know, sometimes it's hard to find that support through label.
Are they the ones who do they put the money out that allows you to tour and they book you? Is that what they do?
No, the label is they're the ones that basically all they do is the record.
Right.
So they make it possible to make a record, because making a record is very expensive. It's way more expensive than most people realize.
Right.
And then they promote the record.
Right.
You know, so all the touring and stuff, that's all separate.
And
that's a whole other thing.
And I see also you've really you guys have done a whole lot of stuff from you were the house band on a Jerry Springer show. You were featured on CNN. You have a bunch of songs on that TV that great show Shameless. How do those things come about?
Man, I think it's just from touring and playing, and people see it, and you build up fans, and some of those fans end up being people that that do some of those things.
Wow.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. A lot of the fans, from what I was reading, there seems to be a common thing that's said is that you guys are a great band, but even better when seen live. Like, just that's the way to see you. And
I think that that's something that people often say. I think that every band should be better live.
Right.
That's what I think. I think every band should be better live. Prove that you can prove it in Nick Devins.
Yeah.
Prove that you're really good.
Right. Well, but now in order to, you play a tremendous amount of live shows. So what that really means, though, is you've got to bring a tremendous amount of attitude and game to every night that you play. Is that easy? I mean, like,
yeah, that you got to give everybody the whole, every single night. Some nights you're not feeling very good, or some nights you're wore out. You still got to find it. Yeah.
And to work with your wife every night, God bless you. That's great.
It's fantastic, man. We're real lucky.
Yeah.
Because we get to travel around. It's one of the things about being away from family and friends and homes is real hard.
Yeah. Do you have any suggestions to like other musicians about practicing or anything on the road? Or
the thing is, what I would say to other musicians is if you're serious, you got to get out on the road. That's where you really figure it out. You got to try to tour. You try to travel and get it out there, and that'll hone you down, and that'll focus your energy, and then you'll decide if it's really what you want to do.
Right. Go out there and be willing to make your mistakes and learn. Now, what your guitar that you play, you've got a few of them, but the one that I see most often, it looks like a resonator guitar in a way.
It is a resonator.
Yeah.
A National
Yeah.
Trojan, 1934.
That's a 1934. Wow.
Yeah.
And I've seen you play other things too. On a video I saw you had some other kind of funky instrument. So do you take a whole lot of instruments with you guys? You look like you could pack rather lightly too.
Yeah, no, I definitely have a lot of guitars with me when we travel.
Yeah.
It's definitely the show is the guitars are a lot of the show.
Yeah. Well, I'm
gonna have to jump off here soon.
Yeah. I'm just finishing up here. Just looking forward. We're going to keep our eyes open on your website to see where you're playing. And one last question: Are you a reverend?
Legally, but if you're serious about religious advice, I would look elsewhere.
All right. Well, hey, man, it's a pleasure speaking with you.
Well, I can't wait until next time we're in the Northeast, man. You're going to have to come out and say hello.
Oh, absolutely, man. I will definitely be staying in touch with you here.
Excellent.
All right. Nice speaking with you. All right. So long.